Do you have the time to listen to me whine about...
Female protagonists in video games are nothing new or revolutionary here, people. We can go all the way back to Metroid on the original NES, or Famicom for our Japanese viewers. There have also likely been female protagonists in other Nintendo titles as well. My point here is that there have been female protagonists in video games long before Lara Croft put on a skin-tight tank top or set foot into a tomb. Female gamers are becoming more frequent and prevalent than they were back in the early days of video gaming, and the entertainment industry, as a consequence, needs to change and evolve to meet the needs and demands of the ever-changing market, both male and female, be it novella, television, movies, or video games. Now, I'm not a sexist, okay? I personally happen to have a strong fondness for strong, capable, and powerful female figures in fiction, because, let's face it, there's just something inherently sexy about a woman who can kick butt, save the day, and take care of business just as well, if not better, than the guys can. And we've seen our fair share of that over the years. Early from The Last of Us, Jodie from Beyond Two Souls, the evolution of Samus Aran in Metroid, and just recently, Link from Zelda, Breath of the Wild. These days we have a fair share of Buffys, Chynas, Xenas, and etc. But if I were to include Princess Peach in that list, well, more than a few people would likely question my intelligence. However, the fair princess has surprised us before. I mean, just look at the Super Mario Adventures in Nintendo Power. Holy crap, Peach can kick all kinds of booty. And in Super Mario RPG, she's a stupidly useful hero who just becomes a god when equipped with the Lazy Shell. Unfortunately though, that would be the last time we would see Peach get any kind of real action. That is until 2006, when Nintendo would license the princess to Toast Games, and we were presented with Super Princess Peach on the Nintendo DS. The game starts off with Bowser chilling at his summer castle in an island far off from the Mushroom Kingdom called Vibe Island. We go on to see that he has had one of his faithful minions steal the mystical MacGuffin called the Vibe Scepter, a magical staff with the ability to make someone's emotions flip-flop at the drop of a hat, basically turning them into the majority of people on Tumblr. After testing it out on the mooks in his castle, he has a Goomba minion take it over to the Mushroom Kingdom to use it on Mario, Luigi, and the Toads in Princess Peach's castle. Since Goombas are native to the Mushroom Kingdom, and it's been shown in other Mario games before this that not all Goombas or Koopas are necessarily evil, he can get into the castle without arousing suspicion. However, this does raise several questions about the security in the castle. I mean, not just any schmuck can go up and walk right on into the White House. Anyway, he manages to get inside the castle and promptly proceeds to muck up everybody's emotions, making the Toads and the Mario Brothers easy picking for Bowser's troops. Fortunately, however, Princess Peach, along with her faithful Toads were out shopping or something while all this was going down, and managed to avoid the emotional meltdown. They arrived back at our castle to be greeted by Zero Pandemonium, as all the Toads are running around like Wall Street traders in the middle of a huge stock crash. After finding a couple of Toads who are miraculously not emotionally unhinged somehow to take part in the minigame and round up all the other Toads, Toadswell proceeds to hand Peach a parasol he bought out on their little shopping expedition, which just so happens to turn out to be sentient. Weird. I guess he was in a sleep or in a coma or something until Peach got him. I guess all the screaming, singing, and crying of the Toads in the castle could have possibly woken him, but I would have thought someone in the Mushroom Kingdom likely would have bought him before now. I mean, a talking magical umbrella would have to be a pretty freaking sweet find, wouldn't you think? Who knows? Maybe he's just scared off all the other potential customers. Regardless, it is now up to, along with a magical parasol Perry, to head off to Vibe Island and save Mario this time around, and prove that he's more than just a pretty face uber crown who bakes cakes and has to be rescued all the time. So pretty stark as far as Mario titles go, minus the role reversal. You go through 8 worlds finding Goombas, Koopas, Boos, and the likes, fight 8 bosses, rescue the hero, Walk in distress, and fight Bowser. The only addition as slight as it really is a cutscene at the end of each world showing Perry's memories up until the time that Toadsworth bought him, because as it turns out, he's not really a Parasaur, he was just transformed into one. So with the story not really being anything special or noteworthy, minus the role reversal, will the rest of the game actually have something more to talk about, or to make it stand out? Well, let's take a look. As far as the gameplay goes, it's pretty standard as far as for a DS game. There's nothing really special or noteworthy that you would write home about them. No real 3D lifelike models or breathtaking panoramic backgrounds or anything. But it does get the job done rather nicely. There's lots of bright colors, pastels, and expressive sprites with all of Bowser's minions fitting the emotional theme of the game. For the gameplay, emotions are the name of the game. You will be controlling Peach on the top screen with the D-pad and face buttons, and using the stylus to control one of Peach's 4 emotions on the bottom touchscreen, for solving puzzles, finding hidden collectibles, and fighting bosses. The 4 emotions you have to choose from are Anger, which engulfs Peach in flames, allowing her to light torches, burn down certain obstacles, and to do a ground pound to momentarily stun enemies. It also makes him invincible to most enemies while it's active. Sorrow, which allows Peach to run faster in getting past blue donut blocks, as well as make beanstalks grow, turn water wheels, put out fires, and get past certain obstacles. Joy, which allows you to fly, and therefore break an already easy game, as well as solve certain puzzles and clear certain screen hazards. And finally, Calm, which allows you to heal yourself. So, the female protagonists who are supposed to appeal to the female demographics' powers are emotions. You know, I distinctively remember the commercial showing princesses going through boot camps and making brick walls explode, and mentioning they're using different elements to save the day, not emotions. Talk about your bait and switch, I suddenly feel kind of cheated. There are 8 worlds altogether, including Bowser's Villa, and all 7 of the main worlds are pretty easy overall. You have a grass world, a wooded area, a boo house, a lava world, a water world, an ice world, and finally the sky. It's pretty standard as far as Mario titles go. Like the Mario games that came before it, mainly Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine, there are collectibles that gather this time around in the form of capsule toads. Sprinkled throughout 5 of the 6 stages in every world, there are 3 toads locked up in red exclamation mark boxes for Peach to find. Now mind you, you don't have to find all of them to progress through the game, just to finish it. But I'll go over all of that later. There are also puzzle pieces, music scores, and mini-games to find hidden throughout every level, which do precisely Bull and Squat. Well, they do unlock something, but I'll go over that in the end. And the game is pretty freaking easy all the way through, and you don't really face any real challenge through all 7 worlds, which is the main negative criticism it receives from gaming critics and players alike. While I do personally find it just a little bit too easy myself, I don't necessarily get turned off by it, not to mention it makes it crazy accessible for newbie platform gamers. That is until endgame. I don't really think you should break much of a sweat throughout the majority of the game until you reach Bowser's Villa. I mean freaking A, you can pretty much coast throughout the entire game up until you get up to World 8. It's like the developers just got bored of how easy they had made everything else up until that point, and decided to dump all the difficulty that they could have spread throughout the rest of the game, thus giving it a decent scale of difficulty right on onto the last world. I mean, you have sliding sections, auto-scrolling sections, screen-rotating sections, the whole 9 yards. But by far the most difficult and unexpected part are the run-or-die segments where you're being chased by thousands of boos wearing blindfold. Cheese and rice, just get the fudge away from me! Phew, that wasn't so bad. I mean, I don't see how it could possibly get any worse than... The boss of Bowser's Villa is apparently a powered-up hammer bro who sends a squad of mooks after you. He's pretty easy to beat. Just chase after him, avoiding the mooks, whack him with your parasol, follow him when he switches sides of the screen, while sprint and repeat. He's nothing you shouldn't be able to handle by now. But once you manage to get him out of the way, you finally get to exact your revenge for all those years of being kidnapped. Right? I mean, we are going to fight Bowser, aren't we? The last boss of the game wouldn't be a ridiculously easy, glorified mook rush, would it? Well, you remember when I told you about the toads and finishing the game? Well, guess what? You can't fight Bowser. Not until you rescue all 120 freaking toads. That's right, you go throughout the entire game, through all 7 worlds, through the grueling obstacle course that is Bowser's Villa, only to run into this game's version of a giant brick wall. Well, I guess Perry does give you a message about it before you enter the final stage, but by that point you've already gone through the whole effing game. What the heck? So, you gotta drag your royal butt through all 8 worlds again and find whatever toads you missed. So, you rescue all 120 captured toads and finally face off against Bowser himself. The oversized, brutish, manic-obsessive kidnapping creep. And he decides to use the Vibe Scepter to go through the 5 stages of grief before he up and decides that he's had enough of your crap and cranks the Vibe Scepter up to 11 to go freaking Godzilla on your butt. His final stage has 3 attack patterns to memorize. He will either breathe fire at you, try to squash you with his hands, materialize hammer bro hammers to fire out at you in a pattern, or cause a rain of bombs to fall on you. Once you manage to defeat Bowser, he reverts to his usual size, but Peach decides to finally let the big green kidnapper have a piece of her mind and wails into him with her umbrella, sending his fat butt flying off into the sunset. After a scene of Peach running into Mario's arms, sending poor Luigi bouncing all over the place as he gets trampled on by the princess, we get a final cut scene with Peach, Mario, Luigi, and the Toads strolling back to the Mushroom Kingdom, with a metaphysical closing text about your mom laughing happily, or your dad getting mad at you, and how the Vibe Scepter could be back in your house. I don't get it. But back to that first part of the end scene. Jeez, poor Luigi. Even after you rescue him from one of the final bosses in the game, Peach just labels him as the Green Man. That's just code. I mean, he can't even be bothered to remember his freaking name. Miyamoto must just get his stories off, making the poor guy the universe's whipping boy. And
once again, Luigi gets out the shaft.
But that's not the end of the game. Oh no, there is actually a post-game to go through once you manage to go through the main game. I'm sure if you look at the extras and the options menus, you'll probably find you've not found everything there is to find. You're probably going to be missing some puzzle pieces and likely some music scores and minigames as well. You see, there are 3 extra hidden levels you can go through once you've gone through the main game. On top of that, you've got to go through every single stage again and then defeat the bosses again just to get to these extra levels. But on the plus side, these would be pretty easy to go through once if you've already gone through them once. And also, you don't have to go through the annoying pre-boss fight starless sections once you've already defeated the boss or cleared them once. There are 2 puzzle pieces and a music score to find in 4 of the 5 previously finished levels of each world. But fortunately, you don't have to go through every level again. Once you find the puzzle pieces or scores, you can just exit the stage and the star will be in the clear circle, confirming you've gotten everything there is to get. In all the extra levels, there is only 1 puzzle piece to collect, with the exceptions of worlds 6 through 8, where you can find extra levels for the Toad minigames. Now, 100% completion of the game means not only finding every puzzle piece, which means going through the game twice, but also completing every level of difficulty of every minigame and defeating every type of enemy at least once in order to complete the glossary. It's a real chore, as easy as the main game honestly is. But once you manage to 100% the game, once you go through all 72 levels, once you clear every level of every minigame, and defeat every enemy in the glossary, what do you get? Nah, I'm just kidding. Though that would be much more desirable than your actual reward. 100% completion of the game rewards you with endless vibe mode, which gives you unlimited vibe energy, which is completely, totally, and utterly moot at this point in the game. At least it's not a freaking postcard. Yeah, that's right, I'm looking at you, Mario Sunshine! Final verdict? To me, this game has 3 black stains marring it from being a great game. Number 1, it's too freaking easy. If you're not going for 100%, you can pretty much breeze past it all, not including the last draw. Sure, some of the toes might give you a little bit of crap, but after a little thinking and exploring, you should be able to find them pretty easily. I mean, the game does give you an alert in each screen of every level, so you shouldn't have much trouble at all. Number 2, and this is just a nitpick, and because somebody will bring attention to it if I don't, the emotion power-ups. Personally, I don't really mind them. Some people might see it as sexist, but I honestly don't see it. I doubt that Nintendo was intentionally trying to be sexist with the game, and it is something interesting and different from basic tried and true Mario mechanics. Interestingly enough, according to the Mario Wiki, earlier versions of the game had Peach on the top without the vibe hearts and the game screen on the bottom, hinting at the developers originally wanting it to be an average platformer without the vibe powers. But for what it's worth, I'm glad they decided to include them. Finally, the reward for 100% completion is not worth the time or effort you will be putting into doing so. I honestly think the extra levels at the end of each stage should have been harder, like Door or Crown World in 3D World, or Grandmaster Galaxy in Mario Galaxy. Or maybe your reward for getting all 120 toads should have been Endless Vibe Mode, and then all of the mini-games, puzzle pieces, and music scores should have been available at the shop, and your reward for getting all of them should have been the extra levels in the post-game. Or maybe they could have given you an altered, more difficult version of the game, like Ocarina of Time's Master Quest. As it is though, I personally see no point in going for 100% completion outside of bragging rights. With all that being said, however, I really don't think that this is a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. It's not infuriatingly difficult, it controls just fine, even if I feel Peach has just a tad too much forward momentum. It has nice enough graphics and visuals for what it is, and it's honestly pretty fun to play. It's above average, if I had to rank it. It has a few things that could have stood to have a bit more work put into them to make it really good, if not great, but I don't consider it a waste of money to pick it up. I honestly think it's a shame that it didn't quite sell well enough for Nintendo to do anything else with it. I would have loved to see a revamped, redesigned, fully fleshed out remake or sequel of this game. For the upcoming Nintendo Switch perhaps? Who knows? But as for it is right now, we'll simply have to settle for what we got and rely on fan projects for what might have been. Well, that's all for now. I hope you all enjoyed my review. Be sure to like it by hitting the thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel, and leave a positive comment on the comment section below. And I'll see everyone again for my next review. Take it easy.
Do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once? I am one of those melodramatic fools, neurotic to the bone, no doubt about it.